Hey y'all, listen. I was in the shower, minding my business. Wait, is my mic working? Hold on, let me see something because it don't look like it's working. Hello, hello. Hmm, I hope so. But listen, I was taking a shower, right? And I'm just relaxed, and I just start seeing a number of visions, right? And I was led to come here and share this urgently with y'all. Um, I was watching this debate. I believe it was on Al Jazeera, but I'm not sure. I was watching this debate with Mehdi, and they had they brought up something about a whistleblower in the Trump administration coming forward and saying that the Republicans are planning a large scale 911. Okay, um, and it made me remember a series of dreams that I was having, y'all. I keep coming back to these dreams when there were drones like that the American government was saying they didn't know where they were coming from over the Hudson River. If you look, I think I still got the video up where I talked about like, do you think it was Russia, China, or the United States, right? Um, and so many people were, and I had to delete so many comments of people saying, "What are you talking about? You sound like you rambling." And I basically was saying that anyone who has served in the United States military knows that there is no way that there's going to be anything in our skies, in the skies over the United States, that we don't know about. We don't know the origin of. We have special technology that will be able to identify and detect those things, right? So there was like debate on what was going on with those drones, and in the reading that I'm talking about, that I think is still on my page, I talked about how like from 2020 all the way to like that whole year, like 2020, maybe even a little bit of 21, I was having recurring dreams. Now, this is significant because I used to have a very vivid imagination. I used to have a childhood friend, well, not like an imaginary friend when I was younger. So I used to dream a lot, and I stopped dreaming. But all of a sudden in 2021 and 2020, I started having these recurring dreams of like these robots or machines that were like in the sky, and they were shooting at unarmed American civilians, right? And the dream, it would be like reoccurring, but it would progress as the days went on. Y'all know how y'all had those series of dreams that's like leading up to something. It would be like that, but it basically, I was telling like my folks, like my sister, my mom, I'm like, I'm having dreams again, and these dreams are not good. It was like apocalypse type stuff. And then I stopped having the dreams, right? And so when those drones were flying like over the Hudson River, they were like, this was early, maybe 2024, where they were having these mysterious drones. It brought me back to those dreams that I had, and then it just hit me when that when whoever that Trump whistleblower was that said the Republicans are planning a 9/11 scale attack. Like, that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. I was just in the shower, and like, how like in the movies where like all the different clues lead up to this one big like climax of revelation of like what happened. I had one of those moments in the shower, and I'm telling y'all, okay? And there were rumors out that from God knows where, right? That were saying that California needs to be on alert because it's looking like there are discussions about a possible attack, and then Newsom was asked about it, and he said he didn't know anything about it. And then today, when I got up this morning, I saw again that there were talks about possible drones or some type of strike that was a possibility for California. So, and I say that to say this, I'm not trying to go on and ramble. I just was compelled to jump out of the shower and get this message. Lord knows I hate being on camera and I hate recording videos, but all my seers and all my people who actually have spiritual gifts and intuition know you don't want to say this stuff sometimes when you are called to say something, because you know your logical mind, because there's nothing wrong with me. I've never been diagnosed with mental illness. In fact, I work in the mental illness sector of medicine, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm very clear and conscious mind, and I hear these things and see these visions, and they are real when I hear stuff. And so I was called to come do this, and I didn't want to do it. So I'm just going to tell y'all this. America needs to get prepared, because there's about to be a 911 level attack launched by the people who are trying to force this war. And I should also say this. I am not suicidal, y'all. I'm not suicidal. I've never been, so I just want to throw that out there, because people want to act like they don't see how when people start speaking the truth, all of a sudden they turn up unalived, and they did it themselves, even though their family protests and contest that there's no way. So I'm just making that clear. But there's going to be a drone attack. And you know what else? I was watching Al Jazeera and some other speaker. I can't remember. I was watching something. It could have been the Young Turks or Al Jazeera. But they were talking about how, that's what it was. It was, I think her name is Anna from the Young Turks. She was saying that there's no way that, there were reports about California needing to be on alert, but we all know there's no way that they could have this technology to be able to have the capability to do anything to us on our soil, right? But then she also caveated and said, but there was some mysterious drones that went missing apparently, and the government is saying they don't know what happened to them. There were 2 drones apparently. I mean, y'all can go fact check that and look that up. I haven't fact checked that yet, but that's right in line with the vision that I'm having. They're going to launch drone strike attacks on the United States, and it won't be from the enemy. It will be from the reps who are pushing this war, because the Republicans already knew what was going to happen. They've already been proven to have invested in companies with defense machinery and capabilities. And I'm telling y'all, okay. And I talked to so many Americans after they had that warning for California, who were like, "Oh man, there's no way that anybody would launch an attack on the United States or be able to." And they're not paying attention to the fact that there is evidence and proof that that China and Russia are assisting. Okay, they've had operatives and agents just staged in this country for whenever, right? And there's a prophet that I watched, and I don't I've kind of strayed away from her videos, but because I can't deal with all the politics and just little stuff. But the last video I watched of her, she was talking about how Americans think that, the US soil is off limits and it's untouchable, and they're going to get a surprise. And I'm telling y'all, I was compelled to come out and tell y'all there is about to be an attack on US soil by the US. And the goal is to completely obliterate our economy, to make us dependent on the government so that we cannot fight back. That's the reason why the Trump administration is going and doing all this Supreme Court, trying to repeal, trying to oppose the Constitution. They are trying to get us back in bondage, because people have awakened. People have woke up to what that this country is false. This country's government, its structure, its system is false, and it's getting ready to collapse. And they're trying to hold on. And it's prophesied that, yes, there is a end times war coming. As the generals were, it was reported that generals and top military brass were telling their troops that this is holy war and they're fighting on the rights of justice, and they're on the side of good and the war of good and evil. And I'm telling you, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. The only thing is they're not on the side of good. They're not. They're on the opposing side who are trying to keep truths hidden, such as Black people, melaninated people, our Muslim brothers, our Arab brothers, the people that they are attacking and colonizing. And I'm talking about Israel. If this video ever makes it to light, because the stuff that I'm saying, I'm pretty sure there's some government agency right now listening, can't wait to cancel this crap as soon as I hit post. But I'm gonna do what I was told by the Most High. Okay, so whatever happens, happens. But hold on. Israel. This is all orchestrated by Israel, y'all. This is all orchestrated by them because they want us back in bondage. They want us back in slavery. They know they're not the chosen. They know people have awakened to the truth. So they're going to do everything that they can to crash the system and then build it back up in the structure that they wanted. Mark my words, mark this video. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. There will, and the reason why they have to do it this way is because, and I thought about it as I was on Isaiah Martin's page and I was watching a video with him, and he was basically talking about, which is true. The Republicans know that they can't win. They know America does not trust them anymore after so many displays of proof that they have to feel that way. They know it's no way that in November they're not gonna lose so much leverage. They're not gonna lose so much. So, and they know that people are not voting with them. They're not messing with them, the American citizens. So they're gonna have to do what they have to do in their minds to take matters into their own hands, and it's going to be by force. There probably won't even be another election for another president of the United States of America after this. Okay. And I also want to say that those little exercises were dry runs. The mysterious warning to California about possible drone strikes, the magic drones that were in the skies that the American military knew nothing about. These are all psyops. These are all little exercises that they are doing to test out what their ultimate goal is. But it's not it's going to work in a sense of they're going to execute a plan that is going to completely shake up this country, and it's going to make a lot of us feel destitute, like there's nothing left, there's nothing that we can do, because so many Americans have been conditioned to be sheep. They've been conditioned to rely too much on the government for stuff. They've been conditioned to feel a false sense of security. It's false, y'all. It's false because we have too many corrupt politicians who have basically sold America bit by bit to our enemies. And there's no rhyme or reason why Trump bullied our allies, humiliated our allies, refused to help our allies, and like there's no other reason other than he wants us to be isolated. He wants the rest of the world to look upon America and hate us, so that what's about to happen, people will feel like we deserve it. This is all geopolitics. This is all good versus evil. This is spiritual war, y'all. This is it. And people say, oh, it looks like it's going to be World War III. It is, but it's not going to be the World War III that you think, because we're going to be fighting for our basic freedoms and human rights, just like it's 1875 again, y'all. Okay, they're trying to find ways around birthright citizenship. They've already kidnapped American citizens and deported them to countries that, they're in danger in, and there's no money. They've limited medical assistance. They've limited social programs, extremely limited. There are people broke, and so when this happens, you will feel like there will be no fighting back. But I'm telling y'all, it will happen. Mark my words, it's on the way. Okay, I love y'all. Take care.